Sairam to all of you. Having seen the basic aspects about stoichiometry, which was nothing but a measurement of elements in terms of moles, volume, mass. Now here we are going to see some problems related to this so that we get a better idea about understanding how these molecules combine with each other, react with each other and give the corresponding products. So we have now seen it very clearly that molecules react in a proper proportion depending on the moles that are required. So let us take up some examples here to understand this concept. The very first one, calculate the number of moles, mass and volume of nitrogen, hydrogen and ammonia in the following Haber's process. Now what is Haber's process? It is nothing but preparation of ammonia by utilization of nitrogen and hydrogen gas. First thing, they have asked us to calculate the number of moles in this case. Now what are the number of moles? We can understand from this reaction straightforward that 1 mole of nitrogen gas is treated with 3 moles of hydrogen gas to obtain 2 moles of ammonia. This is crystal clear in the reaction itself, and we know very well now that in reactions it should be balanced in nature, and that is when we can come across this mole concept here. The second one is with respect to mass. Now before that, let me just go to understand some more aspects about this, though it is not part of question, but since we are discussing the concept, let me see here that though it is 1 mole with 3 mole giving rise to 2 moles, I can tell it in other way also that 1 molecule, because it is not atomic form, it is molecule. 1 molecule of nitrogen gas reacts with 3 molecules of hydrogen gas to obtain 2 molecules of ammonia. Now if this I have to talk in terms of the number of particles, which is nothing but Avogadro's number, then what can I do? I can tell that this is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules of nitrogen gas reacted with 3 into 6.022, which I can write it as 18.066 into 10 raised to 23, because for 1 mole of nitrogen 3 moles of hydrogens were required. And how many particles of ammonia you get there? You get it 2 into 6.022, which is nothing but 12.044 into 10 raised to 23 particles. This is how we can understand the presence of the Avogadro number or the total number of particles in a particular reaction also. So moles equivalent to the number of particles. The next aspect is mass. Now we have to calculate the mass. Nitrogen atomic number is 7, mass number is 14, but because there are 2, this will be equal to 28 gram. Hydrogen atomic number is 1, mass number is 1, but how many hydrogens are there? 3 into 2, 6. So therefore 1 into 6 will be equal to, in total it will be equal to 6 grams. What about ammonia now? In total there are 2 moles and inside it is 14 gram of nitrogen, and hydrogen we know it to be 1 gram, 1 into 3 shall be 3. This will be equal to 2 into 17, which will be equal to 34 grams. So what you understand by this is even gram wise also, when we consider the proportions, 28 gram of nitrogen gas will react with 6 gram of hydrogen gas to give 34 gram of ammonia. So though this mole wise this seemed more, but the overall mass of this compound is comparatively less. What you can also understand here is that the law of conservation of mass has been kept so that 28 plus 6 is equal to 34. So this is how we can analyze about the masses of this compound. Similarly, there is another aspect that has been asked, that is volume. So volume, you know very well that 1 mole of any compound will have 22.7 liters. So if 22.7 liters of nitrogen gas is taken, then this should be 3 into 22.7, because 3 moles are taken. Whereas this should be 2 into 22.7 moles. So everything depends on the balanced chemical reaction and the mole that you consider. So what is the calculation for this? 21, 3 to 6, 7, 8, and this is 68.1 liters. So when you take 22.7 liters of nitrogen, you need to take 68.1 liters of hydrogen. When you take these two, that is when you get 2 to the 4, 5 and 45.4 liters of ammonia gas. So this is how we can interrelate a particular reaction with respect to number of moles, number of particles, which is nothing but the Avogadro number, which is equivalent to the moles, mass of these compounds, which we saw just before, and volume in these cases. So what this one example gave us an idea is how each of the reactant and product is interrelated by various ways. So this was about the first problem. Now let us move on to the second one, which is more of an application sort of a thing. In a rocket motor fueled by butane. Now what's the butane formula? C4H10. I am sure at your 10th level in carbon and compounds chapter, you must have come across alkanes, alkenes, alkynes and all, and but indicates 4. So this is the formula of butane. More deeper study into this will be done in the organic chemistry chapters in this part. Now what they have asked is fueled by butane. So butane is readily there. How many kg of O2 should be provided for each kg of butane to provide complete combustion? Now what do you mean by combustion is the first thing that you have to understand. So what is combustion? Any organic compound, basically hydrocarbons, if it is treated with oxygen gas, you will be getting carbon dioxide and water. This is something that you have studied in your lower classes, that a combustion reaction is something where a hydrocarbon is treated with oxygen gas to obtain carbon dioxide and water. Now the moment you write this reaction, the first thing that you have to do is balancing of this chemical reaction. How do you balance this? You can see that there are 4 carbons. So the moment there are 4 carbons here, you can balance this with 4 CO2. So first what I am doing is I am just thinking about carbon, because there were 4 on left, let me put it 4 on right. Then hydrogens, in total there are 10, whereas here already there is H2. So if I use 5, that should be good enough. 5 H2 will be equal to 10, this side also it will be 10. Now I am left with oxygen. How many oxygens do I have here? 2. But here I have 4 2s are 8 plus 5, 13. And whenever it is an odd number, it will be difficult for you to balance in this case. So what you can do is simply multiply the reaction by 2. Simply multiply the reaction. This is the technique how do you balance the reaction. So if you multiply, what happens? 2C4H10 plus 2O2 gives rise to 8CO2 plus 10H2O. Now why did I do this multiplication? That is very important to be understood, because I realized that the number of oxygen here is an odd number. 4 2s are 8 plus 5. And when it's an odd number, it will be difficult for you to balance. So I just wanted to make it into evens. So when I went for evens, what happened here? Carbon is still balanced. 2 into 4 is 8, it's still 8. 10 into 2 is 20, whereas here it is 10 into 2, it is still 20, that's also fine. Oxygens now if you see, 8 2s are 16, plus 10, it's 26. Now if that is 26, here how many are there? Only 4. So if you make this change, where if you remove this 2 and rather make it as 13O2, can this be balanced one? Definitely. 13 into 2 is 26, whereas this side it is 8 into 2 is 16 plus 10. So this is how first you have to get the balanced chemical reaction in this case. So this is the balanced chemical reaction that we have, and we will be taking this as a basis for our study further to understand this. The explanation will take it a little long. The starting understanding also will be a little long, but when you start solving it, it will definitely be easy for you. So once I have got this balanced chemical reaction, now my concern is going to be, what are they asking here? How many kgs of O2 should be provided with each kg of butane, which means that for 1 kg of butane, how much oxygen is required is what they are telling. So for this I need to calculate the masses of butane as well as oxygen that are employed. I need not calculate anything that side, because they don't talk anything regarding carbon dioxide or water. Whatever is asked, if you work out on that, that should be more than enough. So what happens here? Now let me first calculate the mass of butane. What's the mass of butane? In total there are 4 carbon atoms, so 12 into 4 is 48. 10 hydrogens, so 10 into 1 is 10. So this one I can keep it as 58. Then 2 into 58 shall be 116 gram. Just to repeat it, C4H10. So 12 into 4 was 48, 10 into 1 is 10, totaling 58, but because 2 moles were used here, I have used it as 116 gram. What about oxygen? Oxygen, we know that it is 32 grams per molecule of oxygen. Now when it is 13, so what is the total mass there? So there you will have to utilize 13 into 32 parts in this case. So 13 into 32, if I have to just go with the basic mathematical parts in this, I can say that it is coming to around 416 gram in this case. So if you want to show the mathematical aspects here, 13 into 32, 13 2 will be 26, 13 3 will be 39 and 460. So what I have understood here now is that first I balanced this chemical reaction, later on I am not counting the masses of this because there is no reference made in the question, they are not asking anything related to that. What they are asking is how much amount of oxygen is required for 1 kg of butane, each kg. So by these calculations what I have understood now is 116 grams is required of butane is required for 416 grams of oxygen. So in this case, if in this parts here, when I have to consider this just for calculative aspects, let me take up these parts now, where in these general steps that we see, very clearly it is showing that 116 gram of butane utilizes 416 gram of oxygen. If that is so, then 1 kg, which is nothing but 1000 gram of butane, how much of oxygen is required? So for this, no doubt this sort of a thing you have been doing it earlier, but now it is about understanding these chemical aspects of the reaction, trying to get this figure and then solving it. So how do you solve that part now? X will be equal to 416 into 1000 divided by 116. Please undertake this calculation. You will be getting the final answer as 3.59 kg, or to say 3590 grams as such. So getting the final answer is not a big deal. What is important to be understood here is that how the molar masses are reacting with each other and their requirement. Where did this factor come from? From these reactions we understood that 116 gram required 416 grams of oxygen. For 1 kg, because they have asked for each kg, how much? If they had asked for 2 kg, you would have taken it as 200 grams. So this is all about how we can calculate, and this relationships are what we call it as stoichiometry in this cases. So this was about one of the problems. Let us now go to the next problem which we have here. In this case, a reaction is given for you. Lead sulfide and lead oxide are reacting with each other. You are getting lead as one of the products and sulfur dioxide. Kindly observe the reaction. First see whether it is balanced or not. 1 plus 2, 3 lead atoms on the left side, there also it is 3. 1 sulfur here, 1 sulfur there. In total 2 oxygens here. And in SO2 you have the 2 oxygen system there, which means that they have already balanced the chemical reaction. Now what is it that they have given and what is it that they have asked, that let us just go through. They are told that 14 gram of lead oxide is taken in a particular reaction. This is what the data that they are given, and what all they are asking us is moles of lead. This moles they are asking. Grams of lead, again how much grams of lead is been obtained there they are asking. Atoms of lead, atoms by which it means that particles, because lead is an atomic form there, so 6.022 in that terms they are asking, and grams of sulfur dioxide formed. Now no doubt the answers you are directly able to see here, but how do you get these answers? That is important part in this. So this is a big question where it involves many things. In exam they generally tend to ask any one of those aspects. So these type of examples are chosen here so that we can explain you to a large extent various concepts in this case. So first up, the reaction is balanced, that is seen there. The data given is only that 14 gram of lead oxide is reacting in this case. Now first thing is we have to understand how many moles, because what is the first question, how many moles of lead are reacting is what they have asked. But the problem is, the moment you see the question you may say that 3 moles of lead is reacting. But When will this 3 moles of lead be formed? Only when 2 moles of PbO is reacted. And what is the mass of 2 moles of PbO? That you can calculate from the other data that are given here. You can see the mass of PbO 207 plus 16. So 207 plus 16 is 223. 207 plus 16 is 223, and this is again 2 moles, 2 into 223. So this is the overall mass that we have. This I can write it as 446 gram, which means that if it was 446 gram, then I could have called it as 1 mole, or in this case 2 moles, because in total 2 moles are taken. But how many grams am I taking there? I am just taking 14 grams in this case. So I am not taking the entire 446 grams. I am only taking 14 grams in that case, which means that the number of moles also will be very less in this parts. So how do we go about with this calculation? We can have various methods, but one of the methods which I will be dealing here now is that in these parts now, 446 grams of this entire component in this case will be equivalent to 2 moles of PbO, which means that 1 mole of PbO will be nothing but half of that part. Now what they have asked in the first case is the total number of moles of lead that is being formed in this cases. In that case, we have to understand how many moles of PbO has been reacted in that part. So what is the total moles of PbO which has been reacted? We have the overall mass which is there here of 14 gram is all the mass that has been reacted. But what was the original mass that was taken? It was equivalent to 446 in this cases. Overall mass there was 446 which were taken. Now this factor which is there is nothing but equivalent to 2 PbO. What about the 3 Pb that has been formed here? How many moles of this have been formed? So this can be related to the molar form that can be formed in this parts. So this molar form, when you undertake this calculation, you can get it around say 6.42 around into 10 raised to minus 2 moles in this case. So this is the calculation that you get for PbO. Now the question is, how will you go further for that part, because this is nothing but 3 times 3 by 2 of this PbO. So each molar form is nothing but equivalent to around 6.42 into 10 raised to minus 2, but the molar form of Pb is nothing but in the ratio of 3 by 2, and therefore this will be equivalent to 3 by 2, which will be equal to around 9.42 into 10 raised to minus 2. This will be the molar form, the total number of moles that you get for lead in this case. Similarly, in terms of grams, so how do we go about the gram parts which is there for lead in this case? We have already seen that in this part, in the earlier calculation we saw that PbO valuation was 223, 2 into 223 was 446 gram. Similarly, what is the lead calculation that we have? For lead it is 207, but in total there are 3 into 207. So what is the calculation for this now? 21, 2 and 3 2s are 6. So this is the mass. What you understand by this part is that 446 gram of PbO was able to give you 621 gram of Pb. How did you get this? This you got it from the reaction itself, where in total here the amount reacted was 446, whereas here the amount that was got was 621. So if you had used 446 gram, you would have got 621, but how much have they used in the question? They have used only 14 gram. So how much is being formed? X. So what is this X? How do you calculate it? X is equal to 621 into 14 divided by 446. Undertake these calculations, you will be getting the final value of 19.5 gram of lead which is present. So this simple mathematical calculation if you take up, you will get this particular answer. Okay. So this is how you can find out the corresponding mass of the compound also which is being present in this case. What's the next one here? Atoms of lead. How many atoms of lead are been obtained is what they have tried to ask here. How can you know this atoms of lead? You can know it depending on the moles that have been formed. You have already understood that the total mass that was present in this case was, if we consider 3 pp, it was 621 gram when you undertook this reaction. But you also realize that if you take only 14 gram of PbO, then you are only getting 19.5 gram of that part which has been present there. And we already know how many moles of Pb is been formed in that particular case. So, how do we understand this atoms of lead that are present? We know very well that for 1 mole the number of atom is 6.022 into 10 raised to minus 23. It will be equal to 10 raised to 23. This is for 1 mole. This is known to us very clearly. Now, the question is, if the mole is equivalent to say 9.42 into 10 raised to minus 2 mole, then how many atoms are there? Just to repeat this part, 1 mole is nothing but 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. This is well known to us, and because it is about lead, I can write it as number of atoms. What about this part then? Now, if it is 9.42 into 10 raised to minus 2, then x calculation is what we can take up. X will be equal to, so just cross multiplication if you do, 6.022 into 10 raised to 23, 10 raised to 23 in that part into the crossing parts, if you see 9.42 into 10 raised to minus 2 divided by, since it is a molar form, it will be nothing but equivalent to 1 itself. So, just undertake this calculation, you will be getting this value in that cases. So, this is how you can determine the number of atoms for lead which have been present. The final one, grams of sulfur dioxide which are formed. Now, because there is a mention of sulfur dioxide, you need to calculate the mass for this also. Sulfur mass is 32.1 as it has been given here, plus how many oxygens are there? 2 into 16. So, 32 plus 32.1 in plus 32, you will be getting it as 64.1 gram. Now, the question is, when do you get 64.1 gram? Only when you take 621 gram, which we saw in the calculation, and 446 gram. If you take these many, then you will get 64.1 gram. But what has happened now? What is the amount of lead that we have got? We have just got 19.5 gram. If we have seen the second answer here. So, 621 gram got us 61.4 gram of sulfur dioxide. Then if we have only 19.5 gram, how much of sulfur dioxide do we get? So, once again, if you take this calculation, x will be equal to 64.1 into 19.5 divided by 621. Please undertake this calculation, you will be getting it around 2.01 grams in this case. So, this is how we can see that everything is related to that one concept of mole in these parts. So, this is all we had regarding the calculations and all, and a couple of examples for you for your understanding how many grams of NH3 can be made according to the reaction from 0.207 mole of N2, 22.6 gram of H2. Now, how do you go about these parts? Just an idea I would like to give you. When they are given mole, please understand that for 1 mole of N2, it gave you 2 moles of ammonia. Now, they are asking the overall answer they are expecting is of grams of ammonia. So, if it was 1 mole, which is nothing but, if you calculate, we have already seen that nitrogen atomic mass is 14, and when it is N2, it is 28 gram. So, if 1 mole is 28 gram, how much is 0.207 mole? That is the first thing that you will have to calculate, and for that mole, how much of ammonia you get. What about this 22.6 gram of H2? We know very well that in this reaction, if you see, 3H2 is nothing but 6 gram, because hydrogen is 1 into 6 parts. This is 3H2. So, if it was 6 gram, then you would have got ammonia is nothing but 14 plus 3, which is equal to 17. And since it is 2 moles, you would get 34 gram. So this again a simple direct cross multiplication, you can take that. If 6 gram was equivalent to 34 gram, 6 gram of hydrogen gave 34 gram of ammonia, how much will 22.6 gram of hydrogen give? So this is about this question. Similarly, the second question we have it here. This is with respect to once again a combustion reaction that has been taking place. They are asking how many moles of O2 are consumed and moles of water are formed. So one is a consumption part, another one is a formation part when 4.16 into 10 raised to minus 2 mole of C2H4 reacts. So how do you understand this part here? You can realize that for 1 mole of C2H4, 3 moles are required. How many moles of oxygen will be required for this amount? Similarly, for 1 mole of C2H4, you require 2 moles of water. How many moles of water would you require for this part? So this is all about the integration of mathematics into chemical parts. So with this, we'll close this part where problem solving so that we understand the relationship between moles and the overall stoichiometry of these particular compounds. Thank you. Sai Ram.